الحمد لله الذي نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا فصلى الله عليه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. قال الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: وما هذه الحياة الدنيا إلا لهو ولعب وإن الدار الآخرة لهي الحيوان لو كانوا يعلمون. اللهم اجعلنا من العالمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم ثبتنا عند الموت بلا إله إلا الله. اللهم اجعلنا من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. آمين يا رب العالمين. Today's khutbah is about an ayah that belongs to Surah Al-Ankabut. Similar ayat occur in other places in the Quran. Sometimes in the Quran, Allah will give us a comparison between this life that we have, these few years that we have to spend on this earth above the ground, and something that we can observe. Like, to understand life itself, He'll give us a comparison. Sometimes He'll compare it to rain and the growth of a plant. Other times He'll compare it to other things to give us some perspective. This is one of those ayat. But what's interesting about this ayah is Allah did not compare life to something. He almost made it equal to something. This is, in the Arabic language, this is called at-tashbih al-baligh. And what that is in simple language is, you see an athlete and you say, this guy is like a lion. He's like a lion on the playground, but you use the word like, right? So when someone's listening to you, they can tell you're making a comparison. But if you want to go really far in your comparison, you just say, this guy is a lion. You don't even mention the playground, because that would make someone think you're talking about an analogy. You equated this person to a lion, right? So that's a very strong form of connection between the lion and the athlete, even though literally he's not a lion, right? So this is the kind of thing that happens in the Quran when two things are very closely related to each other, or the more you contemplate it, the more you will learn about the first thing. The second thing will make you really understand the first thing. So what Allah says about my life and your life that we're living now, first of all, He says, مَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا. The hadihi is kind of idafi, it feels from a balaghi sense. You could just say worldly life, but He says this worldly life. He adds the word this in the ayah. And the idea of that is at-taqreeb, what scholars of language call it taqreeb, meaning I want you to notice everything about this life of yours that you're experiencing, this day, this year, this decade, this experience, these people that are in your life, this work that you do, this business that you do, these friends that you have, this family that you have. Every part of this life is kind of being focused, a lens is being brought onto it, and it's being zoomed in on just with the word hadihi. So, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا, He says, this entire life, this worldly life, amounts to nothing more. It's all it is lahwun wa la'ib. It's just two things. And a rough translation of lahwun wa la'ib would be entertainment. Lahu can be translated as entertainment. You can also think of it as distraction. So two words you can think about with the word lahu. Allah is saying this life is nothing but entertainment or distraction. That's the first thing. And then He says, وَلَعِب, and a game, or a sport, or a match. Nowadays we call it a match, right? That's all it is. So in this ayah, Allah has made me think about entertainment, and He's made me think about distraction, and He's saying really deep connection between entertainment and distraction and what's going on in this life. Well, what is entertainment at the end of the day? Somebody had a busy day at work, they're mentally exhausted, they're tired, they get home, they're like, I just need to sit back and just watch some highlights, some sports highlights on YouTube, or play some video games, or watch a TV show or something. Just need to let loose a little bit, entertain themselves. Or kids want to be entertained, tell me a story, right? Kids want to be told a story, or they want you to sing a song for them or something like that. And of course, when people get older, they just have the more adult version of the same thing. It's either the music industry or the movie industry or the Netflixes and the Amazons and all of that stuff, right? It's at the end of the day, it's still the same thing that we wanted as a child. You just want the advanced version of it as an adult. But when we're doing that, and somebody says, "What are you doing?" And you say, "Let me just relax, okay? I had a long day. Can I just breathe a little? This is just this is me taking a mental break, right? This is me taking a mental break. You're not, somebody else is doing the work. And by the way, the difference between lahu and la'ib is in la'ib, you're doing the work. You're kicking the ball, you're taking the shot, you know? But in lahu, you're just sitting back and somebody else is doing the entertaining for you. You're just watching and enjoying or listening and things like that. But as you're doing that, what happens sometimes is people get so lost in that they miss an appointment. Or they get so lost in that they forget to do the groceries. And the store's already closed now. Meaning the Arabs associated entertainment with distraction because it's always taking you away from something that's more important. Something needed your attention, something needed my attention, and I lost track of time, and before I know it, the time for it is over, right? So the same thing happens, for example, some of you students here, you have an exam coming up or something. Now there's a break, but before the break, you have an exam coming up and you're studying for it, you're like, I need a break. I know the exam is in 4 hours. Let me just turn on the PlayStation for a little bit and just let relax my mind. And before you know it, you're beating the final boss in the game and you beat the entire game and you're 20 minutes late for class and you forget the review. You almost missed the entire exam. I travel a lot. I've actually seen people miss their flights because they had their headphones on and they were just watching something. And then they look up and there's a different city that's boarding. They're like, wasn't this going to Dallas? No, that flight already left. This is going to Miami now. So the idea of lahu is distraction, something that gets my attention, and more important things that had a limited time schedule, they passed me by. The opportunity passed me by.